here really intrigues me. It's titled Mid-Tide, and as you can see, it pictures the sea coming into the shore. What I love is the artist's use of textures here to depict the sand. And I also love how the colours flow into one rather than have a harsh break. What I do wonder about is why there is 2 canvases used rather than just the one. I wonder if maybe one canvas would have created a more free-flowing, more natural, organic look. Another thing that I really love about this is the red here and how it elapses onto the sea. I think that appears really beautifully.
And then there's another piece here which is also saying about the waves coming in, because that's quite therapeutic, having those waves coming in. So I was trying to capture that, and I'm using also with these new pieces, I was using like an enamel, a resin, to try and capture that glassy feel of the beach. And it's quite an, I was exploring with it and experimenting, and I was quite satisfied how it turned out. It gave that atmosphere of being there.
Mm-hmm. And especially I see that for the sunset part or the sunrise part of it, it's sort of more of a raw texture, where underneath it is the glossy enamel. So I think that really comes across the beach to sky. Here and then moves up. Is that something to do with the paint pouring process?
It is. This was a lovely experiment. Remember I was saying to you about sometimes in a painting process you can make mistakes and little accidents happen, but not to panic about those little accidents. Let them do that movement. I learnt that from a few lecturers at Curtin as well. Just to go with the flow of those mistakes and see what you can learn from them. This particular piece I absolutely love because I've tried to replicate it and I can't. But it was still trying to hold that rock in my hand and still trying to get the flow and the movement of the rock and the colour tones within it. But I really enjoyed the process of this one. So they're named after the places that the rocks that I've been holding, or the places that they come from. Yeah.
So this one comes from?
This is pegmatite, the rock. Yes.
This one's got really interesting lines to it. So this one's definitely more layered and more structured possibly, but in a chaotic structure almost.
It is a bit chaotic, yep.
A lovely chaotic structure.
Yep. This was once again experimenting, using textures. So it's called Down the Track. And when you're exploring with the children, you're going down a dirt track. It can be gritty and it can be mucky, it can be a bit muddy. So I'm trying to capture that movement and that muckiness, with the children kicking the rocks and so forth. So, I was hoping it would give that kind of a feel toward it. Through photographs, when you look back on the photographs from the children when you go camping, you see the different colour tones, and when you're researching and you've got those artists in mind that I mentioned, it's nice to sort of compile and find your own space. I'm still searching. Every day is a learning experience, so it would be nice to keep exploring and finding new ways.
You can see there's a very similar layout on here, but different colours.
Yeah.
Could you?
Different times of day.
Different times of day, lovely. So the previous one was in the...
a muddy, mucky day.
Uh-huh.
This is obviously when the earth's quite dried up.
Mm-hmm.
And once again you get different tones, and it's amazing how the earth is an amazing place to be. And that inspires me. And try and capture just a wee bit of that is lovely.
So basically your pieces could alter not just seasonally, but also even on the time of day or the weather or something along them lines.
Absolutely, yeah. This particular piece was an experimentation and also an inspiration from Michael Ivanov. He was my lecturer at one of the units there a couple of years ago, and he was just amazing. He's very into the the feel and organicness of the earth as well. This one's called Morphix Surge because I wanted to try and capture that movement and how the earth produces these rocks in the first place. It's a lot of heating and cooling, and it's a process, years and years process. So this one is a representation of that process. I love this one, just because the colours and the tones and the feel that it gave me. And once again, I was experimenting with different forms of acrylic. There's very sandy. I was mixing bits of sand when I was paint pouring, just to see how that would work. Would that give me that feel of that particular place? And the different, sometimes you can pick up different paints and blend them with other paints, and you can come up with this sort of speckled. But the paint moves itself, so we can guide it in a certain way with paint pouring, but it moves itself, and it kind of does its own thing with just a little guidance. So I really enjoy the whole process of paint pouring and experimenting with different tones and colours.
If you could describe all your pieces of work using just 3 words, what would you describe them as?
3 words.
Or 4.
4 words.
We can alter.
Organic, memories, and experimenting.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. So why do you think art's so important to suburbs and cities and towns?
Oh, I think it helps create identity, and it gives a sense of place, and it reflects conditions that surround an area.
And how is the City of Nedlands helping the artists and promoting art within the community?
We make space like this available, and we also have an arts budget. So we do what we can to promote art in a small way. We're not a large council, so yeah, we do what we can.
Tamara sent me her exhibition blurb, and she's said in that she's really responding to the West Australian landscape. I think the title of the show is Geomorphic, and I'm a real supporter of that. I think that it's great for artists to be in touch with where they live, and especially in West Australia to have such a strong identity with our special geology and so on. So I thought that I'd come along and have a look today.
How do you feel about the exhibition?
I think it's beautiful. Yeah, it's experimental, which I'm always a big fan of.
I'm here with artist Carla Marin to give her opinion on the pieces. Hello, thank you for meeting with me. So, what do you think of the exhibition?
I love it. I've been with Tamara at Curtin University for quite a few years now, and she's been producing a fair bit of this work, and she loves paint pouring, and I really enjoy her works. They're really sublime. Yeah.
Is paint pouring quite a difficult skill to master?
I've never tried it myself, so I'm not entirely sure, but I think that she's mastered it really well.
You tutored Tamara when she first started. How have you seen her grow as an artist?
When I first taught her, it was her first semester, and she was with me for an art history and theory unit. And I remember her exhibiting particular interest in the Impressionists. Given that, this is a massive leap, massive development, to have moved from something that's grounded in tradition to something that's as experimental as these works are.
Achieving my first solo show is rewarding. Knowing my boys have helped me along the way in the journey is nice.
I think we can all agree that Tamara Alexander has a very promising career in the art world. Thank you for watching Gallery Watch. I'm Claudia Dent.